Okay, this is going to be a short little video that talks about genomic imprinting and non-nuclear DNA. And so genomic imprinting, really quickly, I just wanted to run you through an example. With genomic imprinting, let's say that mom's egg as that we're looking at mice here, and I would draw a mouse, but you wouldn't know what it was because I cannot draw. So let's say that mom passes down a white hair gene to her kiddo, and dad passes down a brown hair gene to his kiddo. Sorry. So when these two mice mate, this is what their baby has: one white gene, one brown. And let's say that brown is dominant, and so the baby mice pup, I think they call them pups, is going to be brown. Okay, but if the same thing, okay, mom has white, dad has brown, okay, mom, dad, happened, okay, same exact situation, brown, but this time a methyl group attached to dad's gene and imprinted it, which basically means marked it so that it cannot be transcribed. The polymerases can't attach, or there's other reasons it cannot be transcribed. That's just one of them. Then what you're seeing, let me zoom in a little bit, is this gene. I try to draw a circle with a line through it. It might as well not be there. So even though this baby is genetically brown, because brown is dominant, this baby, this pup, would be white. So imprinting can change your phenotype. Your genotype doesn't change, but because this gene has been shut down permanently, it's like it's not even there. So it's a really interesting concept when we talk about genetics and inheritance, and there is all kinds of evidence that's starting to come out about, and I think they did it with mice, that it literally, the mother's attention can alter the baby's DNA with imprinting and those kinds of things. Doesn't actually change the DNA, but it changes the way the DNA is expressed. So when they have mama mice who are very attentive to their babies and lick them and clean them and take care of them really well, those babies have different genes expressed than babies who are ignored by their mama. And so it's a really interesting, there's a lot of interesting studies out there and trying to figure out if that translates to humans. But what they're basically saying is literally being very loving with your children can alter their DNA. Not really their DNA, but the expression of that DNA. So it's a very interesting look into nature versus nurture and how that all goes. So it'll be interesting to see where that goes in the next little bit of time. The other thing is I can discuss the influence of non-nuclear DNA. All right, so you do have some DNA in other parts of your cells besides your nucleus, and for you, the only place you have it is the mitochondria because you're not a plant. But if you were a plant, you would also have it in your plastids, like chloroplast. So because those used to be bacteria, they do have their own little small circular chromosome of DNA, and that DNA does get expressed and it does impact our inheritance. Now, when a sperm enters an egg, it doesn't really, only the DNA enters. The rest of the sperm gets kind of destroyed. And so the only mitochondria and plastids that get passed down are from mama. So if your mom has a mitochondrial disease, and that's what they call it, then you would have that as well. If your dad has a mitochondrial disease, you don't have to worry because it's not passed through the father. So it's just very interesting. There's Leber's heredity optic neuropathy, which is basically where the optic nerve has damage or it slowly gets diseased over time, and these people go blind. And it is all about the mitochondrial DNA. So it has nothing to do with the nucleus. Took them a long time to figure that out because they're like, what is going on? We've got this condition, and yet the DNA in the nucleus is fine. What's happening? And they realized it was the mitochondrial DNA. Because if your mitochondrial DNA is messed up, it can impact how you make ATP. And if a cell can't make enough ATP, it's going to die, and that can create problems when lots of cells die. So that is non-nuclear DNA and genomic imprinting, and I hope that helps. If you've got any questions, let me know.